With $1.5 billion spent by the Secret Service, nearly $1 billion of that spent on protection of the first family, the second family, former presidents, and presidential candidates, the United States Secret Service was always considered to be the elite law enforcement agency made up of men and women who were highly regarded, highly respected, and highly trusted. The country has placed great faith and trust in the Secret Service. The agents of the Uniformed Division, their officers, and the Secret Service agents have a monumental task, that of protecting the nation's presidents, past, present, and future. They do so honorably and not without considerable personal sacrifice. They ensure the safety of the first and second family, yes, and the safety of foreign dignitaries throughout Washington and at times around the world. They ensure the safety of every man and woman who enters the White House and accompanying buildings. But a history of misbehavior, security failures, has clearly blemished that record. On September 19th, Omar Gonzalez jumped the north fence, ran across the White House lawn, up the steps of the North Protocol, and into the front door of the White House. He was armed with a 3-inch serrated knife. He entered through an unlocked door, past the staircase to the presidential residence, and into the East Room of the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the part of my opening statement that was changed last night when the early false report that, in fact, he had been apprehended just inside the front door was turned upside down by a revelation that, in fact, he penetrated much further into the White House. Secret Service officers only subdued him after he was clearly well inside the White House. An intruder walked in the front door of the White House, and that is unacceptable. Common sense tells us that there were a series of security failures, not an instance of praiseworthy restraint. Inexplicably, Omar Gonzalez breached at least 5 rings of security on September 19th. The White House is supposed to be one of America's most secure facilities, and in fact, one of the world's most secure facilities. So how on earth did it happen? This failure was once again has tested the trust of the American people in the Secret Service, a trust we clearly depend on to protect the President. After allowing a paparazzi-crazed reality TV star to crash a state dinner, after engaging prostitutes in Cartagena, after excessive drinking and an agent falling asleep outside his room in the Netherlands, and yes, after the mishandling of the 11/11/11 event, a gunman who sprayed bullets across the White House and it is reported caused over $100,000 in damage that was not properly reported in real time or understood in real time, it is understandable that morale at the agency appears to be in decline, according to news reports. In light of the recent break-in, we have to ask whether the culture at the Secret Service and possible declining morale have an impact in operation, and those are some of our questions today. The appointment of Director Pearson brought new hope that the agency would reclaim its noble image. But recent events have so troubled us that, in fact, we have called the Director here to face some tough questions. How could Mr. Gonzalez scale the fence? We understand that. That happens often. People try to scale that fence. But how is it that, as would ordinarily happen, agents didn't immediately apprehend him? How was he able to sprint 70 yards, almost the entire length of a football field, without being intercepted by guards inside the fence? Why didn't security dogs stop him in his tracks? What about the SWAT team and assault rifles or sniper rifles? Why was there no guard stationed at the front door of the White House? And yes, how much would it cost to lock the front door of the White House? The Secret Service must show us how there is a clear path back to public trust. The purpose of today's hearing is to gain answers to these many questions plaguing the Secret Service. Today we will hear from experts on both the agency's protocol, foreign and domestic. But most importantly, we will hear from the Secret Service Director herself on her plans to improve the agency's performance. Americans face real danger as we serve interests abroad, especially those stationed at our embassies. It is a time of great peril. We are engaged in a battle against ISIL as we speak. But that is not limited to foreign soil. Americans know that the next attempt to take the White House may not be by a crazed, solo, knife-wielding veteran with PTSD. It could well be a planned attack from a terrorist organization. The fact is, the system broke down on September 19, as it did when the Salahis crashed the state dinner in 2009, as it did when Ortega Hernandez successfully shot the White House on November 11, 2011, as it did in Cartagena when agents paid for prostitutes and compromised security, as it did in the Netherlands in 2014. We cannot further allow this. But more importantly, as I said to the Director before today's hearing, the Secret Service relies on two important skills or facts. Their skill, their capability to protect the President must be at the highest level because they cannot succeed 99%, because 1% failure is not an option. But they also rely on a good faith belief by most people that they shouldn't even try, that this is the hardest target on earth. We need to make sure that that second hardest target on earth is true again, both in reality and in the minds of anyone who might take on the Secret Service to get to the President of the First Family. And with that, I recognize the Ranking Member for his opening statement.